Now, as you tackle the aspects in project management, be aware that project management is scalable. The tools and the techniques and all the information that we'll be covering in this course does not need to be religiously applied to every single project. It's the project manager's judgment call to select what needs to be applied to every project. Some projects need a lot more planning than other projects. Some projects actually become almost routine, though there's a discrete deliverable. And I say they become routine because you've been there, done that. Take, for instance, a construction project to build a 2-story structure. If you work for an organization involved in construction, you've done it so many times that what you did in previous projects could be used in current projects, and that reduces the cycle time when it comes to planning. If you've been there, done that, you've got a better idea of the landscape, so your planning might be more succinct and straight to the point. But on new projects, discovery projects, research and development projects, encountering technology that you may never have encountered before, those types of projects need a lot more planning and fine-tuning to understand the full gamut of what is required, the timeline, the realm of possibilities, and what could go right or wrong. So please bear that in mind as we go along this course. You do not need to apply every single tool that we discuss to your projects. So let's take a look at project management basics and what exactly is involved in this course. The foundational element of understanding what projects are will be covered, and then we'll move into what it means to initiate a project, what it means to plan a project, what it means to execute a project. Number 5, what it means to monitor and control a project. And lastly, what it means to close out a project. Those are the areas we'll be covering in this course. So welcome to the Introduction to Project Management, taking a look at project management past and present. The more I look at project management, the more I see that project management has been in existence for a long time. Take, for example, the pyramids of Giza. This was a project. Resources were applied. People worked on this. There was also equipment and materials. There was also the application of knowledge about building. What about the Great Wall of China, 206 BC? Another example of a project. Resources being applied, skills, tools, and techniques being applied to this great endeavor. It stood the test of time. So when you go through ancient history, be it the Great Pyramids or the Great Wall of China, it required exceptional planning, coordination, allocation of resources, and workers. Similar basic elements of project management existed in those projects. Managing resources, maintaining a schedule, coordinating different groups. All of these are used in today's project management, be it the Hanging Gardens of Babylon in the picture that you can see on the right, or the Taj Mahal, or even the Model T far on the left. These are all examples of projects. They all used resources, scheduling, and coordinating different groups. So in my world, I think that project management is not great because of software tools. Today, we have so many tools, Microsoft Project, P6, Primavera, and so many other solutions, but that's not why project management is great. Project management is made great by the minds and the attitudes behind the tools. So we're not here to give you tools that are the end-all, be-all, and the big solution to managing projects effectively. It has to do more with the minds and the great attitudes behind the tools. Another example of project management coming closer to home is the 1862 Transcontinental Railroad project. As you can see in this picture, the last rail was laid, And it was quite an ambitious endeavor back in the day, the blue line all the way from the east to meet the red line coming from the west without GPSs. How did they pull this off? Well, President Lincoln signed the Pacific Railroad Act, and it was a very involving endeavor. So many thousands of labor, people working on this project, blacksmiths, carpenters, engineers, masons, surveyors, teamsters, and cooks, a full-blown team. Today, we have similar teams working on other endeavors, but this was back in the 1800s. The man behind it, Theodore Judah, came up with an idea, as you can see on the screen here, a very rough idea for a schedule, for payments to each of the people working on the project, a very high-level plan, but there was some element of planning even way back then. So someone was managing projects hundreds of years ago. The big question is, how well are we doing today? In the mid-19th century, business leaders were faced with the task of organizing labor in manufacturing and assembly. There were several thought leaders of modern-day project management emerging with different theories and tools and techniques. One of these is Henry L. Gantt. The Gantt chart was named after him. The Gantt chart shows you, as you can see in this picture, on a timeline, it shows you the project and each of the activities under the project. In this example, in Project XYZ, you can see the big phases: research, development, prototype production. And Gantt charts could be tailored to meet your needs. You could even go lower than the research level and go into the details in each of these phases. Sometimes we use milestone charts. Again, the origin is from Henry L. Gantt's Gantt chart. As you can see here, a remodeling project with all of the tasks on a timeline. It helps you see what is coming downstream on the project. Even in aerospace, you can use this for design reviews. You can see the space station phase, the booster, the RPV, and the strike system. All of these are looked at as a composite program of sorts, and the Gantt chart is used to track these milestones. The preliminary design reviews and so on are all mapped out on this timeline. So, as you can see from this image from Microsoft Project, the Gantt chart on that side and the details of the actual project going into the task level. Another very important tool that's used in project management is called the work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure is a hierarchical structure that breaks down a project from the top level all the way down to the lower levels, known as work packages. A work breakdown structure could be an invaluable tool, especially when you encounter a project that you have never encountered. It could help you decompose the tasks or the buckets of work into smaller, more manageable pieces. You can look at it as a discovery of sorts, and it's a great exercise when done with the team actually involved in the work. And that concludes our first part of this introduction. When we come back, we'll talk about the PMI, an organization that has been key in introducing project management to the world.